A pretty long introduction there that seems like it's a long history in terms of what's happened with my career, what I've done in London. It's certainly been colourful. I've loved every minute of it, and hopefully today, in terms of the conference and what you're here for as well, you'll learn a few points from me as well. I also thought I'd let you know that I'll stay and be around for a cup of tea afterwards if you've got questions. I know sometimes I do tend to chat a lot, so if it goes on for a bit too long and there's questions you need to ask me, or if something that I've touched upon that you need to know more about, then I'll make myself available outside after I think because we've got a cup of tea after it anyway. So, today I'm just going to talk briefly about my career. A lot of people are sort of fascinated about how a ceramicist ends up working for Jamie Oliver. Talk a little bit about Jamie as the brand. So I've been there for 8.5 years now, so I've seen the rise of not only Jamie, but his brand as well. Jamie's website, the role of social media, how do we manage it all, and then also, most importantly, what happens in the future. So prior to working for Jamie, I, as Andrew said, completed a master's degree in ceramics at RMIT, and I had a gallery that I showed with in Melbourne. I worked for Craft Victoria, where it used to be in Gertrude Street in Melbourne. And I then had, intentions of going overseas and living in London. And I arrived in London, it was much more of an old boys network than it is now. So I had a really good CV, had lots of experience. I was getting shortlisted for jobs. You get down to the last 2 or 3, and usually it would be that the job would go to somebody that was known or somebody that ultimately had more experience in London itself. So I wasn't put off by that, because I really did want to make my life in London. My grandmother's from Essex, my grandfather's from Scotland. I went to boarding school in Canada, backpacked for 2 years. So there was a real urge and a real desire to live in that city. So not being deterred, I actually ended up temping for IBM in the education department. And all my friends and family back in Oz were just like, what are you doing? It's like, you've got a master's degree in ceramics, you're established over here, and you're working for IBM. But for me at the time, it was, I guess being a ceramicist, more of a right-brain thinker, here I was working for this multinational company where everything is very structured, everything is very formalized. And it was a chance to sort of like learn something new, which I always loved doing anyway. So in the education department, they ended up asking if I wanted to be put through a project management course with IBM. And at the time, I just thought, well, look, project management is something that's transferable. It's a skill that I can use in lots of different fields. So I said, for sure. And I ended up working as a project manager for IBM in the education department for 4 years. Again, all my family and friends were just like, couldn't understand what I was doing. But at the time, I just absolutely loved it. I got to travel a lot with work as well.